Mr. Night Spider here, and today I'm going to be bringing you my Avengers. So let's get started, okay? So after a lot of hunting and research, I'm going to start off with the big guy here, Mr. Incredible Hulk himself. This is a Diamond Select, aka Marvel Select. The reason I went with this for my first Avenger set is I haven't collected Marvel figures actually since the 90s, early 90s. So they have changed so much and they've gotten like so advanced, so well designed, a lot of articulation. This one doesn't have all the articulation that one may want. His head, for example, you get right and left rotation, but you can't really look up too high or down. Single waist swivel. Arm rotation, single elbow joint, and a wrist swivel, and that's on both sides. The legs aren't too bad. You get once again, nice rotation and swivel, and a single joint and another joint for the ankle. You're not going to get a crazy amount of articulation for this particular one, but it's just enough to make it work with everything you're going to want to do. So you can grab this guy for probably around, I think, 25 bucks. Some places may sell it more depending on the availability and demand. I think I saw this one on Amazon possibly for 40. But yeah, that's the Hulk I wanted to go with for the Avengers. I wanted the scale. I wanted him to be towering over his teammates. Okay, so the next guy I'm going to jump into is Thor. Now, let me get all the accessories real quick. I really like this Thor because I think it takes away a lot of the movie design, and you definitely have more of a comic book look to it. This one is not. This one is a Marvel Legends. This is one of those ones that I saw maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 months back. Didn't pick it up. Wish I did pick it up. And then when I finally found it, swooped, and I took it. This one also is going to have limited mobility on the head because he has a lot going on. If you look behind him, he has like a little, I call it his do-rag, but it's probably a leather thing that goes into the helmet. But you can look left to right, not really up and down, but you get a rotation on him. One of the things that's really frustrating about this figure is its center of balance. It's all over the place. It's like this whole abdomen rotation thing is very loose. With Marvel Legends, you're either going to get a really strong leg or not. This particular one, it holds it, but it's very wobbly. It's very hard to keep him where you want him without him collapsing. And this cape also throws him off. So it's a good figure. It just has a lot of weight issues going against it. One of the things I really love about this figure is I like things that are a little different, is that it comes with a sword. I really love that, thinking outside the box type of thing. If I could get this sword in his hand, there we go. And sometimes it could be a great crutch to keep this guy standing up because he falls over so much. So maybe that's why the sword is included. Keep him balanced. So there's my Thor, and same thing, you got a arm swivel, double jointed elbow, single jointed elbow, I thought it was double, single jointed, wrist swivel, same thing on this side, you got the abdomen swivel, no waist swivel, so it's just all based in the abdomen, swivel on the legs, ball joint, double hinged elbow, double hinged knees. I said elbow. And it looks like a swivel and a pivot on his ankle. Trust me, you need all the options you can with this guy for his legs because his balance is all over the place. So let's see if I can get this guy in one position that will hold, so he can stand alongside the Hulk here. As you can see, I'm having trouble with this guy as it is. There we go. So, there is my Thor. Looks good. See, that's the scale I'm going for, as you can see. Towering over his teammates. Now, in general, Thor should be bigger than his teammates as it is. So I was really happy when this scale turned out. And another Marvel Legends I went for, Captain America. I had to do, stated in a previous video, I had to do a lot of research to find the right Captain America for me, because all the Captain Americas on the internet, all the Captain Americas currently in the store right now are all movie looking based, and I wanted a comic Captain America. So, real quick, this one you get a lot more mobility on its head. Looks down about that much, looks up. Definitely not like the bigger guys. Get a good shoulder swivel, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which that's always awesome when you get the double jointed elbows. This guy's hand is slightly, this one's a clenched fist and this one is open, and I'm assuming that's to hold the shield, because the shield has a couple options here. You could clip it onto the side of the wrist, or you can actually peg it into his hand to get some different type of poses. I actually enjoy putting it on his back. That's also an option. It's definitely a cool look that you see in the comics a lot, even in the movie. But none of the movie figures had that option, which is kind of a bummer. But I found one that did. So there's my Captain America. And he got these ones got the ab crunch, which I like when they have that. No waist swivel. Double jointed knees. Ankle tilt. And moves back and forth real nicely. So let's get this guy along his brothers here. Once again, finding the balance on these things can be a challenge. So give me a second to get that going here. Adding a little weight. See, there he goes. Sometimes can help keep them the way you want them. Adding the accessories. I'm going to let this guy lean up on the Hulk a little bit. This guy too. There we go. That's 3 Avengers so far. So, the only Marvel Select I have is the Hulk. And he's still a fun figure to work with. I enjoy it a lot. And this one, this is Marvel Legends. I think this is from Marvel Legends from 2012 or 2013. It's the Extremis Iron Man. Basically, at one point in the comics, which they also did an animated thing on Netflix, he took the Extremis strain and applied it to himself, and he had a bunch of connectors appear on his skin, so basically he could interface on like using his own brainwaves and activity. So the armor itself is less bulky. It's a much thinner look. I mean, if you compare him to the other figures, he's probably the smallest, which makes sense because Tony Stark is just basically a regular guy with super smarts. Not a lot of motion in the head. That's pretty much as far as you're going to get it. We got the left and right. You can swivel it pretty good. It has like the similar abdomen. It's like a hybrid of the ab crunch and the swivel that Thor has. You have double jointed elbows, and these little shoulder things come off, but I like them. I think they're pretty cool. So I leave it there. They don't have I wish this one had interchangeable hands, but it doesn't, unfortunately. But it's on a hinge. His wrists are on a hinge. And you don't get a lot of motion with the legs. You see here, that's as far as it's going to go. But it's also on a swivel, double jointed knee, and looks like a swivel for the ankle and a hinge. But due to the mold, you lose a lot of that option there. But still, this is the Iron Man I wanted. And that's the thing. When you're picking your Avengers, when you're picking the characters, that you remember or feel the way you want to feel, you gotta go with what you want. Go with that feeling. Maybe you got one of the Iron Man from, the Saturday morning cartoons you used to see. So they're looking really good. I like that. That's to me that feels like the proper Avenger team. And this is my latest pickup, Hawkeye. You gotta have Hawkeye. I mean, he is like one of the staples of the Avengers. This guy's basically, I'm not going to go over his points of articulation because it's virtually the same as Captain America. Because I think his mold is based off an older mold of Captain America. I think one of the Bucky molds. But it's essentially the same thing. If I could get him to stay in place. Oh man, I'm just knocking these guys over. They're like dominoes. You don't get the stance you want. Get it to hold. And you'll be good to go. Let's get that up a little bit more, huh? See, this is fun, yeah? Let's get a more dynamic pose out of Captain America here. Let's do that. Something a little bit better than what was going on there. Yeah, that looks good. Now we'll get Hawkeye in there. But this guy was one that was, at one point he was abundant, but then he started becoming scarce. He wasn't the most popular mold in I think the All-Father series, but he was the last remaining bunch if you go to Toys R Us in different stores. But I did some research, and this is the only classic looking Hawkeye you're going to find unless you end up buying the Toy Biz one from way back in the day, and I think that goes about $50 now. So this one doesn't have a loose arrow. It's plastic, not a string, but it's a good mold. I was actually surprised. I felt like I was settling, but once I got it, I was like, this is awesome. I love it. And last but not least, as some of y'all may or may not know, I am going for a classic / New Avengers type of hybrid. So I also have Spider-Man in the mix. And this Spider-Man is really cool. It has an alternate head, which you've seen in one of my previous videos that changes out. He has a good amount of maneuverability of looking up, looking down. Let me see, looking down. Nice ab crunch. He goes really far forward. And that makes sense because Spider-Man really has a lot of dynamic agility. You have a hinged elbow. I feel like some more figures should come with this, even if they molded a little more further there, just so you have that option. Double jointed elbow. 3 sets of hands. One's the web shooting hand. This one you have his hand open, and the other one is closed fist. Waist swivel. Another hip swivel, and it's also on looks like a ball joint there. Double hinged knee, and then you have the rocker and tilt on the ankles, which God bless him for that. So you could get a lot out of this guy. And let's see, get him alongside Iron Man. I'm not done with this. This is just the beginning for me as far as the Avengers go. I'm still looking for a Wolverine that works for me, and it's a balance of finding the right Wolverine, the right look, the right price, and a Miss Marvel, or Captain Marvel they call her now. So here are my current Avengers. It's always growing. It's fun. This is just so cool when you get them all set up like that. It just feels so epic, man. I recommend, if you're out there and you're putting them together, don't just, I mean, depending, unless you want to collect every version of every character. This is my first run with Marvel figures, and like I said, since like the 90s. Make sure you get the characters that feel right to you. You know, get what you're looking for, not what the movies are telling you, not what, you know, being shoved in down your throat. Go out there, find the Avengers that feel right for you, put that team together, so you at least have that one solid team, and then you can go from there as far as mixing things up, because there's so many different reincarnations of the Avengers. It's crazy. I'm thinking about even a Dark Avengers, but we'll get to that bridge when we get to that. But thank you for watching the Night Spider Collector. Like the video, subscribe, share, and I'm signing out. Peace.